Okay, today for my lightning talk, I'm going to talk about library and reading trends. How exactly are people reading? Now, the first thing that caught my eye was on this past Saturday, July 21st, Forbes actually deleted an opinion piece by the LIU post-economics professor Panos Morkadukas with the headline, Amazon should replace local libraries to save taxpayers money. So as you can see, this screenshot is from what the website looks like today. It was actually taken down I believe, within 2 hours. So clearly there were some people who know the value of libraries and how people are reading. So that brought me to thinking, again, how are people reading? So I looked at some research from the PEW Research Center, Business Insider, and News Info Today. I wasn't too familiar with the PEW Research Center, so just for those of you who are not aware, it's a nonpartisan fact tank that informs the public about the issues, attitudes, and trends shaping the world. And they've actually been tracking library trends since 2011. What they conclusively find really ever since 2011 is that Americans have high expectations for what their local libraries should offer, and they believe that the local libraries really help make up a community, which I know is probably not so much news to us. They also believe that the library should offer programs to teach people, anywhere from helping with literacy, from learning about new technologies, helping with blogging, Instagram, Facebook, learning how to 3D print. But people do believe that the libraries have a large responsibility. In some of their data, they also said that 80% of people, including kids, 80% of people strongly believe that kids, seniors, and they should be teaching kids, seniors, and other patrons how to use digital tools. 57 strongly believe that they should have more comfortable working spaces for reading, working, and relaxing. 50% strongly believe that the library should buy 3D printers and other digital tools. Only 24% of people strongly believe, and the other number involved in that was there was about 30% of people who believed that they were kind of unsure, but kind of on the fence of moving some print books and stacks out of the way to free up some space to bring in more tech-based labs. The research also showed that in-person library usage fluctuates, and the next piece of data actually brought me to my original thought was looking at ebook reading versus print text. So 90% of libraries have ebook lending services. The startling statistic from the PEW Research Center is that only 44% of people surveyed think that their libraries do this, which I found a little bit fascinating, I guess, that it's not marketed as much or people don't understand how to use it. So definitely something that probably needs to be looked at in terms of programming for local libraries. And looking at some data from the PEW research also, this graph shows that the typical American reading on a daily basis, it's actually declining from 2003. You can also see that women read more than men. And then if you look into age groups, you could see the percentage of people reading on a typical day. So it looks to be more older people reading on a regular basis. But you do see that those numbers are somewhat declining, and you kind of wonder why that is. Another thing that is very interesting to me is print books continue to be more popular than ebooks or audiobooks. So this was published in 2016. It's the most recent data point that I could find, actually 2018, I apologize. The original report was in 2016, and the updated version came out last fall, or this spring. Okay, I needed to gather my thoughts for a moment. So this is the most recent data from 2018, which shows that people reading a book in any format, percentage of adults who say they have is 74%. And then the percentage of people who are reading print books was 67%. Also, 26% of people in 2018 said that they've read an ebook, and 18% that they listened to audiobooks. So I thought that was a very interesting data point as well. There's only 6% of Americans who would classify themselves as digital-only book consumers. And you could see there's a lot of people who read both print and digital books. The other stat that really kind of blew my mind was the people who read no books at 26%. There is another graph that I have here that shows college graduates are especially likely to read books in both print and digital formats. So, and that's kind of showing the income level, the white, black, Hispanic, the different age groups, the levels of education, where people live. Also, it says more Americans are reading books on tablets and cell phones, even as dedicated e-reader use has remained stable. Which this actually caused me to do a little bit of my own research, which I'll get to in one moment. And then Americans are more likely to read for the purpose of researching a specific topic or interest than 5 years ago. So I feel like people are trying to really become consumers of information, which is excellent. And that could be because also we have so many different ways of looking for information or using social media to get our news as well. So I looked at, that's all data from real research. So I did my own little research in my own somewhat circle of quote-unquote friends. And over the course of 6 hours, and actually as soon as I screenshotted this, I got 2 more responses. So actually it's 71 comments in a 6-hour span. What do you prefer to read on? Books, magazines, or physical print? A Kindle or dedicated e-reader, iPad or tablet, or an app on your phone? And what I found interesting was that over 50% of the people surveyed said that they preferred print resources. The people who said digital resources were interesting because they kind of fell into a category of people who are probably 55 and older. And they also shared with me while they were typing in their comments that they liked it for the big print. So I thought that was interesting too. The other thing that I found interesting was that people liked using the app on their phone or on a tablet just because it was more convenient, especially a lot of moms who are running around with kids to activities. They said that it's very easy just to pick up your phone and read. Another one of the really interesting comments was that you could make your list at the library. I never have to go to the library. I'm just borrowing books through apps like Libby or through the library website, and it just automatically populates for them. So I thought that was another interesting piece of data. Key points that I wanted to make after reading all this research was that number one, books are not going away anytime soon, which I feel that libraries should not be going away anytime soon. So hopefully that opinion piece from Forbes, we won't see any more like that. Key point 2, e-readers are popular for people who like bigger print, and that was based on my own research, that they really did enjoy that they could play with the font size. Key point 3, people like to read out of their phones out of convenience, so that it's very easy for them to travel with their phones and they're always accessible to them. Major takeaways that libraries are supportive. Libraries need to be supportive of all kinds of reading, and as librarians we need to keep reading accessible for everyone. The other last thought that I had was that it's also very important that we make sure that we are educating people on how to use the digital book checkouts. And even if that's not a large preference, it is very helpful to have available to patrons, no matter what the age, truly, because picture books look really cool on e-readers as well, and I know some libraries you can take out Nooks and such. So that's all that I have. Here were the sources that I had. The report from PEW was very interesting. I know I signed up to subscribe to read more of their data just because it seemed very interesting in a lot of the things that they were publishing. So thank you for listening, and I hope everyone had a good takeaway.